My name is Elysia, and in this video, I'm going to walk through how to disclose your evidence by uploading it to the Caselist Wiki. This will be real disclosure for a real team that you'll be able to actually find on the wiki. So the website I'm on here is opencaselist.com. This is connected to Tabroom. So to access this site in any capacity, you will need to have a login for tabroom.com. So if you do have one, make sure you know what your password is. If you don't, you can just go ahead and use forgot password here, or you can, if you don't have an account at all, you can go here to just register for a Tabroom account. Anyone can sign up for one, even if you're a student and your coach hasn't set up an account for your school, you can still make one on your own and just link it later if you need to. So don't be afraid to make your own account if you need to. So we're gonna log in. And for this video, we're assuming that you are interested in high school policy, which we're going to find here at the NDCA HS policy button. But this also has the wikis for high school PF, high school LD, college policy, college LD. And then the Open Evidence Project is separate from disclosure. So we're going to go to NDCA HS policy. So one thing to note about all of these wikis is that anybody with a Tabroom account can edit them. So whether you are a debater, a coach, a judge, or just anyone else, you will be able to, if you can get this far, edit and add any entries you want. So, and your name will be attached to anything that you do. So when you get here, you just go ahead and see on this left sidebar if the school that you want to upload for already has a page, and you just go to it. If not, you can just go to this add button, and then the only information you need to get one added is just the school name. They want just the most basic name. So if your school is called Sample Academy, just say Sample and not Academy, and then you add the state, and that's all you have to do. So the team that we're looking at already has a page, so we're going to go to Druid Hills. And then you'll see that there might already be some teams on there. Anyone who exists, their pages will already be there. You can see just their general page by clicking on the team name, or you can see specifically their AF or NEG disclosure. And if the team, everyone on the team tends to use the same AF, you can just add an entry for all of the teams. So instead of listing two specific students, it will just be like, hey, this is what everybody uses. But if you want to do something for an individual team that's not there, it's really easy to add them. All you have to do is just type in their names. So we're going to do that. Just hit add, and it's as simple as that. And then they've got a page. So you'll see that it'll be blank before you have anything, but whether you are doing general disclosure or a specific round, we're going to go to add round. So for this video, we are going to walk through both how to do the general disclosure and upload for a specific round. So we're going to start with the general disclosure. So you will always have the option under tournament for just all tournaments / general disclosure. So you click that, you'll notice that a bunch of things are either auto-filled or grayed out. So you just go ahead and skip down when you're doing general disclosure to open source. So open sourcing is where we're going to upload the speech file directly for whatever the 1AC is, the way you use it in most rounds. This auto detect sites button, there's no harm in leaving it toggled. It just means that it will also generate sites from your document based on whatever the top level headings in are if your file is a Word document. So we're going to take this. You'll notice that no matter what the file was named before, it will rename it based on the school, the last names of the team, and then whatever the assigned tournament is, which for general disclosure is just like all tournaments, all rounds. And this one, auto-detected sites, so you see whatever the top level heading is, or if there are multiple, you'll see multiple site titles. It will show you what it's going to be, and then you can edit that directly. So if I want to just get rid of this little hashtag, we can do that, say goodbye £, and then that's all we have to do. If you don't want to open source and you just want to add the citations, you can also do that down here. You can just skip the drag and drop here for the open source. And we'll actually see what that looks like if you're interested in doing it after we add this round. So first, we're going to take a quick look at what we just uploaded. So this is just the 1AC as it is read in most rounds, not the everything that they have for this affirmative. So none of their 2AC answers or overviews or anything like that. And if we look in the navigation pane, we can see that it organizes things by heading. So the same way 1AC is the top heading level on this document, that's what it pulled as the automatic site title on the Caselist Wiki. So pretty basic. And then the sites only version of that looks pretty much the same formatting wise. The only difference is that instead of having the full text of each of the cards, it will just have the very beginning, the word and then the very end of the card. So if you are looking to do sites only and you are not using some automated feature to do that, then you can just manually go in and delete most of the text of the card as long as you leave in the beginning and the end. If you're using verbatim, you can use the citify function under the case list features to kind of do that automatically for each card. All right, so now we're going to do a more specific round. So the reason that this is helpful, even if you've already done the general disclosure, is because it gives other teams a sense of what arguments are being run in your rounds. So when you're AF, people can see what other teams are running against you, and when you're neg, people can see what you tend to run against certain AFs. So this is very useful to do, even if you have already uploaded your AF. So we're going to have to fill in the tournament. Because this is connected to Tabroom, it might auto-detect from your Tabroom account tournaments that you've been in. For this one, we're just going to type it in. So I've got my notes on what the tournament is right here. So we're going to say this was 12-3 ADO. They want to know which side you are on. And then if you remember which round it was, here we know it was round 2. And then all of these are optional fields for the most part. So if you are like, I don't remember which round it was, or I don't remember exactly who my opponent was, that's okay. You can still upload all of this. And even if you put nothing but the round report, that will still be really helpful for people. And then I'm going to double check. Yep, this is Berg Kaufman. Henry Mitchell. Now, the round report is where things are really useful. So if nothing else, this is a really useful thing to do, even if you're not actually going to open source or put sites for anything that happened in the round. Filling out the round report is super helpful. So this is pretty much just a basic overview of what happened for people who weren't in the round. So it's very common to say, this is what the 1AC was. These were the arguments that were run in the 1NC. This is what the 2NR went for. Some people might break it down a bit more and say, hey, this is what the 2NC did versus the 1NR so that it's clear what the block split was. But in general, if you said, this was the AF, this was what was in the 1NC, this was the 2NR, that's great. Now, I am uploading everything based on an email chain for a round that I wasn't actually in. So I don't know what the 2NR was. However, the really good thing about the wiki is that anyone can go in and edit any existing entries. So someone who was in this round and does know what the 2NR was can come back to this later and edit my round report to add in the 2NR. But I've got from my notes here, we know the 1NC was the imperialism K. So we say 1AC, it was an Article 5 AF. The 1NC was just the imperialism K. If there were other arguments run in this round, we would just, put comma, keep listing them. And then if we knew what the 2NR was, it was probably the imperialism K, but I can't say that definitively. Then we would add on 2NR, did this. The video URL field is for if you say recorded your round and it's uploaded on YouTube somewhere, you can link that here. If you're not recording your rounds, don't worry too much about it. It's not like everyone's doing it every round. This is most common for elimination rounds at really big tournaments. So if you don't have that, don't stress about it. But if you do, you can put it in. And now we're going to open source this. Once again, it will rename. And this one, because this specific document has 2 top-level headings, it's going to make 2 separate site entries when it auto-checks things. So because the 1AC section would be redundant with what people have already seen from the general disclosure, I'm going to delete that. And because this is the title exactly as it will appear, it's more useful if we rename it so that people actually know what tournament this was. So I'm going to edit the title. And now we're going to add the round. And we can see now they didn't include those 1AC sites because I deleted them again. But otherwise, we would just have a duplicate entry. And now we get to see, okay, yay, here's all the sites. Here's the 2AC parts of the sites for that. So let's take a quick look at what we uploaded for that. So for your specific round disclosure, you can only upload 1 document. But so you're probably used to sending your speeches in multiple documents, you need to make sure that you combine them all into 1 document. So here we have the 1AC cyber, which is pretty much the same as what we saw before. However, under that, we have the 2AC stuff. So I took the separate 1AC and 2AC documents for this round, and I put them together into one long document for this disclosure. So we can see it's got just everything that was in the 2AC, just exactly as that speech document was. And to combine it, you can just copy paste things. If you have verbatim, there is a function called combine speech doc that you can use. So just combine documents. You might get this error message. Don't worry about it. It does not actually stop you from doing anything. And then if you've recently opened things, it might detect them. Otherwise, you can manually add them. One thing to note about the manual add function is that it kind of goes in reverse order. So if you don't want to have to fiddle around and change the order and you want it to just be in order of the speeches as they were given in the round, you're going to want to add the speeches in reverse order. So we would do manually add, and then we would do the 2AC first, and then the 1AC if we wanted it to be in order. And then it would just automatically make this kind of document for us. So that's all on that. So now when people come here, they can see all the information we put in, and they can just skip and be like, okay, round report, what happened? So this is super useful. If anyone wants to come in and edit anything that I've done, maybe they're like, wrong document, you should have done something else. Or if they're like, I was in this round, I know what the 2NR look like, then they can just come here, go to edit round, you can see all the same stuff is here. If you have any changes to make, you make them, you hit save, you're good to go. And now we can also see that because I changed this, my name is now attached to this page as the person who last updated it. So again, make sure that you're being responsible in whatever you do on this wiki, because Tabroom will pull your name and people will know what you did. And then there's also a claim page. So if Jack and Link want to come later and say, hey, this is our page, we want to link it to our Tabroom account, they can do that. So that's the basics on uploading. I know we only did app stuff, but uploading for negative rounds is pretty similar. Even if you're just doing round reports, it's really helpful. If not, you can either upload, just the 1NC or do a combined doc to include what you have in the block. The round report would look very similar, where you just say, this was the app we went against, here's what we did in the 1NC, here's what we did in the 2NR, maybe what you did in the block. So I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.